And welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Fantastic Exchange. My name is Gary. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to bring to you somebody that was referred to me from somebody that I hold in high regard. And when she said, I need to talk to Kiki Clarke, I was like, you know what? Email right away. Now, before we get started, I have to tell a funny story about this kind of eventual connection. So I'm going to get a little back context to this. So I was referred by this person, I'll call it out, Felicia Norman, amazing person, leader, back in December of 2021. And so I sent this out to Kiki. Said, Kiki, I'd love for you to be on the show. She's a busy lady. She's got life going on, work. She's got occupation, vocation. She's making positive impact out there in the world. But you know what? She's organized. She keeps things. And recently, I got an email back from Kiki saying, hey, I'd love to be on your show. I was so impressed that she kept the email and she eventually responded. So guys, just be patient when things, you may want things right then and there, but you know what? Patience pays off. Guys, without further ado, let's give it up for Kiki Clarke.
Hey,
yay.
thank you.
Kiki, can you hear them clapping for you?
Yeah, yes.
You got quite the fan club. That's exciting.
Thank you, Gary. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so
thank you for
honored to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finally have you join the show. I want to give you a chance to share a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So, daytime, I am the director of training at a multifamily company, Allied Orion Group. Amazing. I have been here for 18 years, so it's super exciting. But I am in my favorite role right now, which I know it's called director of training, but I am doing some personal growth and leadership development inside. And so it's really culture based. And my passion is to develop people. So it's super fun doing that. And then I also have coaching on the side, which is about mindset coaching, some spiritual coaching, life coaching, whatever you want to put that box in. It is quite amazing. And I have 3 grown adult children that, praise God, I did it, right? And that's kind of like a little snippet of my journey.
Yeah. That's you in a snapshot. I love it. And
exactly.
You know what's incredible, Kiki, is how it comes across where, I simply ask you, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure.
And no matter what you shared, whether it's your day job, whether it's your kind of your vocational thing or your mom job, if you will, you're
right.
So excited about it all. You have such passion for it all.
Yes, Gary, life is exciting.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. If you have that passion, then everything's just fun.
It is. It is. In fact, one of the sessions of my the power leadership deck that I have, it's can you describe in one word like what you would say about you? And I literally wrote exciting. Like I was like, this is my word, excited.
Oh my!
I love it. I mean, I want to have fun, and why be boring? Like what? I don't get that. I guess it doesn't come natural. So I'm like, yes, let's whatever it is. Like let's have fun.
I love it. I love that. Why be boring? That's a quote. I'm hanging on to that one. Why be boring? Kiki Clarke. Choose to be excited. That is so neat. Hey, and I just, having a chance to connect with you just for the few minutes before we started the show, I feel this passion bubbling up in you. And it's just I'm excited to get to connect with you. And I can see why Felicia Norman referred you to me, and you being such an incredible, inspiring leader. I always love to connect with these amazing people, you being one. And I like to peek behind the curtain to figure out what inspires these excited, why be boring people, leaders, and that's you. So I'd like to ask these questions. What inspires you? And so Kiki, you shared with me 3 wonderful points, and I can't wait to kind of chat with you about this. But so the first one you shared with me, what inspires you is people walking in their purpose confidently.
Yes.
You got to unpack that. Tell us why that inspires you.
You know what was really amazing when you asked me these questions? The answers rattled off super quickly. And I thought, you know what? Yes. And that's when you know you've hit like the button on your life purpose, because you can answer that question, right? And so number one, like I typed it right out, like people walking in their purpose confidently, because we are made with such like great talents. We're unique. We don't have to be like someone else. And, you know, the world needs that particular person. And when we're walking in that, because a lot of times it's like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? But when you figure it out and then you're confident in it, it is life changing. One of my favorite things to say is life is not a dress rehearsal. Like we're on. We're on. Like we don't have time to just, okay, we're going to test this out. No, like go for it. Just go for it. Now some things aren't good for you. So that's a caveat, right? But you know, as a majority, if you're being kind to someone or you're testing out a job or, you know, like, let's try this title, let's try this and have some fun with it. And it's going to take you to that next step to be confident in, oh, this is what I've been made for. Right. And that's, I mean, hands down my favorite. Yes. Oh
my gosh. I'm feeling the excitement. And Kiki, there's a couple of things that you said, you know, we all have a purpose.
Yes.
And when we find that purpose, it's life-changing.
Yes.
And Kiki, you're speaking my language 100% across the board. And I believe the life-changing aspect of that. And not only does it change your life, but when you have such, I don't know, passion, I keep using this word.
Yes.
That it not only changes your life, but it changes the life of the people around you.
Yes.
And that's the purpose.
It shifts the atmospheres that you're in. 100%. In fact, I heard somebody preach it once, and I'll never forget this. A lot of times, you know, you don't remember everything that's preached, but you take a rock, you know, you throw it in the lake, right? Everyone knows that, and it makes ripple effects. But somehow in that moment, that's what I remember. So when you're that light, you're that one to push people in their purpose, you're the one to empower them to be confident. It causes this ripple effect, not just in the space that you're in, but in their family and, you know, in their workplace, everywhere they go. So it really causes like a really good effect in the world in general.
Oh my gosh. And when you're walking in that purpose confidently, those ripples are just so impactful, positively impactful.
Yes.
Kiki, that's, I'm feeling it right here. Just so good. It's so good. I love this. So you also shared with me a second point, and this is fun. This is fun for me because this is one of mine as well.
Okay.
You call it aha moments. What does that mean to you, and how does that inspire it? I have an idea, but I want to hear it from you.
Okay.
Aha moments. Tell us about that.
So what's amazing in a coaching session is, and for those of you out there who might not understand, just a quick overview, we have, you know, the counseling, the mentoring, and the coaching. So the counseling is going to be like, I'm going to go, they're going to listen to me. They're going to tell me like whether actually they need to diagnose me with something, or, you know, have to go deeper, EMDR, that type of thing. Right. And then we have our mentoring where I've done it already. And so I'm going to walk you through it. Coaching is actually walking side by side. Like I'm walking with you in this. So coaching is totally about you, what you want to talk about, where your agenda and where you want to go, and then helping you through that. Okay. So that's what's neat. So in that coaching session or sessions, whatever, I mean, I've seen such life change in just 10 sessions, like 6 to 10. It's amazing. But the aha, it's like in the session, they start talking and we're talking about what they want to do. And the questions, my favorite questions create the conversation, right? So the questions, they're getting deeper to exactly where and what is holding them back or that they want to do. So that's what I call an aha moment. And so at the end of these sessions, like the testimonies that I have are, I ask them, you know, complete this sentence. I used to be blank, but now I am blank. And so what's fun is they'll sit there for a second and then they answer it right away. I used to feel powerless and now I feel powerful. Like I used to be completely confused, and now I'm walking in clarity, and purpose. Like those are like the overall arching aha moments. But in the specific sessions, it's like, oh wow, I'm afraid to fill in the blank, and them coming to that conclusion and me not telling them means that they have come to the realization, not me telling them what to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so great. I love
so
how
like,
when you see you see the light bulb or the explosion in their mind.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And I love how you use questions and and I like how you explain the difference between counseling, mentoring and coaching. Coaching is that kind of partnership, walking side by side, asking questions and allowing that individual to kind of dig through the obstacles, through the questions that the coach asks.
Yes.
And those questions, say that again. You said questions bring clarity. Is that
questions create the conversation, bringing you to the root issue.
Right. And I think that's a lot of what, it will relate it to the multifamily industry. A lot of us are, in a leadership position. We're community managers, district managers, regional managers. We're so used to just kind of like telling or doing. Like nobody taught me in the beginning why I was doing what I was doing. Like I was like, okay, but just check the checklist.
Yeah, just do. And you're right. So asking this question, and then I also want to point out the asking questions internally. So the self-awareness is, if we don't take time to do that, we can't do the number one thing that I said, people walking in their purpose confidently. If we're not self-aware, like this, wow, I really have an issue with this, or why do I avoid conflict, or, why can't I take that next step? All those things. So it starts with us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Kiki, you just brought it like back around. I love how it's so good. It's so true, because if we start with us, the internal clarity, identifying our purpose, and then when we know ourselves internally, then we can externally help others.
We can help, we can lead, we can coach, mentor. Yes.
Kiki, man, you're just raising the levels. I'm loving this so much. This is so good. And I want to make sure we get to this third point.
Sure.
This is so neat. I love that you do this, and I love this is something that inspires you. You wrote celebrating wins with people. I mean, a lot of us may get jealous because other people are doing something maybe better than us, or they got to win, so we're a little bit jealous. Not you. Tell us about this one.
Oh my goodness, I love what you just said, because that is the comparison trap. You said, like we're getting jealous on maybe what other people are doing. So the third one is celebrating the wins with people. This, I think, is so important to me, because I realized I wasn't doing it for myself. Like celebrate. I just taught a human how to drive, and then I just taught another human how to drive, because they're 21, 22, and 23. So like I taught them every year in a row. And I was like, and that might sound like, I don't know, like a crazy win, but that's amazing. Or, what, I got up on time, or I worked out 3 times this week, or I drank a gallon of water today, like down to what you might think is simple is a life-changing moment for someone. Yeah. And so that's why when I do the group coaching and we come together and each person has their action item, and each person, whether they did a little bit of it, a lot of it, or weren't able to do it because they did something else, we're going to celebrate the process and celebrate the journey and the next step, because that's where we grow. If we stay in the same place, like, okay, you can celebrate the same place, but is that where you want to be? Is that really what you want to do? And so it's amazing just to celebrate those small steps. And that could just be like, woo! Or it could be, buying yourself a new pair of shoes. Like, it kind of depends what you want to celebrate yourself with. And I love just being the personal cheerleader. And like, it makes me like come to tears, for real. just even watching, and I have to just tell you, like charting their before and afters, and then just showing it to them afterwards, and them seeing like the difference, and in that celebrating where they've come from, just in all areas of life in like 10 weeks is a key thing there. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Celebrating. And I think it's so neat that you celebrate small wins and you celebrate big wins.
Yes.
You know, and I liken it to, you know, if I had to make a comparison, like stagnant water does not bring life, but flowing water, moving water brings life.
Yes.
And even when you're just moving a little bit, I love how you talk about just celebrating a small win, drinking a gallon of water.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a small win. That's pretty significant.
Oh, I mean,
that's a lot of water. But and the cool thing that you do in your coaching thing that you talked about was you track it. And so people can go back and reflect, look where I have traveled.
Amazing. It's so
that
amazing.
Is so neat.
I have to say, I'm not sure why this story is coming to mind, but I think I feel like I need to share it because in celebrating the win, I remember, so my story is a story. I have adult children. So my ex-husband had cheated on me. And a year later, when I went to work, I wore 2 different shoes to work that day. Okay. It was like a mental trauma that happened a year after. And so when you say celebrate the wins, I was even going to say, like, you put the same shoes on that day, because sometimes, you know, and in my coaching, we talk about it, like when you go through trauma, some things will happen to you. And when you're healing from that, you really need to celebrate those. And so it was just so funny that when I looked down that day, I was like, this is interesting. And then it's just a funny story to tell after that, because you thought, you know what, my brain has so healed from like all that trauma, and I'm able to celebrate that with people, those small steps to really bring you from, like, this place that I feel like I'm in, I don't want to be in anymore. And I want to be over here. Like, can you help me get there? And I'm like, yeah, I can totally do that.
You know? What a great example of going from wearing 2 different shoes.
Seriously.
To the next day wearing the same shoes. But you know what? That is a quick win that you're celebrating. And that quick win builds on a step to the next quick win.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
what a powerful story. And you know what, Kiki, this just kind of brings to heart for me is I have heard, you know, my pastor shares that a true leader encourages others. And from what you've shared, you truly are one of those true leaders, because all of the things that you talk about, all of the things that you do, celebrating other people's wins, supporting people to find their aha moment, that is a leader that is encouraging other people. Yes. And I can't believe, and I'm so excited that I got a chance to connect with you, even if it took a year to finally connect. Amen. We made it happen. And, you know, God works in his timing, and these are the connections that were meant to be made at certain time. And so, Kiki, this has been absolutely wonderful. I could talk to you for hours, because it's just so exciting to chat with you. I can feel the excitement. But we're coming close to the end of our time, and I want to give you a chance to share a closing thought.
Yeah, I pulled these out, and I think I want to share them. It's some of the initial testimonies that I got from people, and just celebrating them. And it was, I'm done apologizing for who God made me to be. I have increased confidence, maturity, self-awareness. I feel like I'm in the right skin with the right thoughts, confident and content, growing into the leader role, and basically found myself. And so, like that, when I talk to you about developing people into their purpose confidently, it's just something that I feel like is a gift, you know, and I just totally enjoy it. And I love sharing about it. I could talk about it too all day. And in every one of those moments, you know, I see God like shining his light inside all of those and bringing us to a greater purpose and a greater awareness of there's so much more than what we can see. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. I need a moment just to absorb what you just said. That was so profound. And Kiki, for me, just chatting with you, you know, your purpose is, for me, is to encourage others to find their purpose and develop their purpose and
Walk
do better, do
sure,
more than
yeah.
what they ever imagined they could.
Yes.
Kiki, you're incredible. You are a leader, and thank you again for joining me here on the Super Fantastic Exchange. Guys, please go find Kiki on LinkedIn. Follow her. She's absolutely incredible. Rewatch this episode because there's some profound things that Kiki has shared with us today. And I know it may take a moment for you to process it and really like, aha, that was pretty awesome. See what I did there? You like that?
I like it.
Y'all go follow Kiki. Kiki, thank you so much for being a part of the Super Fantastic
pleasure.
Exchange. We will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much. We'll see you
Thanks,
guys.
Gary.